Hey, what's up? What's up, people? Uh, I just wanted to talk about this. I don't know. It's been all over the place. The Nancy Guthrie case. That's the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the host on the Today Show. That her mom got kidnapped. I think they said it was like January 31st or overnight, January 31st until February 1st. For some reason, this case been is had my attention because I've always been intrigued with stuff like this, unsolved mysteries and stuff like that. But this case have is it just it got my attention. I've been like watching watching every day about just updates and obviously we hope they catch the person. And me personally, I expected them to have somebody by now. 2 weeks in this day and age that we live in with all the technology and cameras, you usually have somebody by within a 2 week period, and they've arrested a total of four people or detained a total of four people. I think it was three this morning, and the guy last week, and they've all released them. When I saw them detain the other three, I'm like, okay, they're gonna have something this morning. And when they released them, I'm like, man, this is a very interesting case because usually you don't see people get away with stuff this long, and you wonder what the motive. And obviously we hope she's good and in good health and get returned. But she's an older woman. She's 84 years old, and apparently I guess she has some health problems, and I think they left her medicine behind, which has been said that is something that she need. But if I don't know if everybody else is intrigued in this case as I am, but it really been, grabbing my attention. But I want to show y'all some of this right here that I was just looking at.
Okay, so let's go back and sort of review the evidence that we have at the moment that we know, kind of going in reverse. So yesterday, the Sheriff's Department reported that DNA was found in Nancy Guthrie's home, and they were able to identify that it does not belong to her or anyone close to her. Is the way they phrased it. The Sheriff's Department phrased it. That would seem to indicate it does not belong to her or anyone in her family. So that could be a very, very significant piece of information. Prior to that, we have the description of the suspect off of the Nest Cam. Description of the suspect: male, 5'9" to 5'10", average build. From that same video that we got, we also know that there is he's got a backpack, and they have identified the backpack as an Ozark Trail hiker pack. And as I think Morgan Wright was talking about, that could end up being a very crucial piece of information in terms of tracking the suspect down. And of course, none of us will forget the creepy images from that Nest Cam where you had the suspect going out into the front yard, grabbing foliage from the yard and trying to stuff it around the Nest Cam. Of course, because the guy disabled the camera, the last moments that were recorded on that camera were kept and not overwritten. So we were blessedly able to get those images. Of course, from day one, we knew that there was blood outside of the door that we've identified belonged to Nancy Guthrie. That blood is on the front doorstep where this guy's doing his creepy video here. And that blood exists on the outside, but not inside the house. Prior to that, in the middle of the night, the pacemaker gets.
So the blood on the steps when she came out, and they said there was none in the house. That makes me think, obviously, when he was trying to get her out the door, she was fighting, and maybe he hit her, maybe with the gun, maybe with something. That's what I'm thinking that is, because they said that's her blood. I imagine she was. I don't know if she. I'm sure in that, because he had a backpack with, backpack looked full. So I'm guessing he taped her, had her mouth wrapped or something. But when they were trying to get her out, I think it was, or when he was trying to get her out, I think it was some kind of struggle. They don't know if it was if he had an accomplice yet. I know that's been some questions about that if he had an accomplice.
Her pacemaker gets disconnected from her phone, which is connected by Bluetooth, and so that suggests that maybe when her pacemaker left the Bluetooth range from her phone was when that got disconnected. Also, Morgan Wright made a very good point last night talking about the original ransom notes. There have been 3 ransom notes sent to TMZ. A lot of questions about that, and probably a lot of caution needs to be considered because, of course, we don't know whether or not there's been no proof of life. We don't necessarily know that the ransom notes have been sent by somebody who actually is involved or just trying to take advantage in a very gruesome way. Let's bring in Cheryl McCollum, forensic expert and crime scene investigator. Thank you for joining us this morning, Cheryl. So we've had a lot of developments overnight. What can you tell us, big picture, about those developments overnight?
I like what I'm seeing. The first thing that's very encouraging to me is you're seeing the sheriff's department and the FBI working together. You see sheriff deputies holding lights while the FBI is taking photographs. You see them holding up the tarps while the FBI looks inside the trunk. I like what I'm seeing as far as cooperation. The other thing that's important is you're seeing the tactical side. Everybody showed up at this thing. You've got SWAT, you've got, deputies, you've got FBI. They're all there. They're clearly serving a warrant. They are looking for that backpack, that clothing, anything that they saw on that video. That's what they want to identify inside that house. And I am real encouraged. And I think business is picking up. I think this is developing quickly.
And Cheryl, you talked about Sheriff Nanos. He talked a little bit about the DNA found in Nancy's home that he believes does not belong to Nancy. Listen here.
Mm-hmm.
What would it feel like to wake up on your terms, work from anywhere, and actually enjoy what you do while helping others?
Do you believe you found the DNA of the perpetrator inside the house? Do you believe that at this point?
What I believe is, what I know is, we found DNA. And
that was not Nancy Guthrie's DNA.
That was not Nancy Guthrie's DNA. So we'll still work with that, and we're working with our lab on that.
And Cheryl, that's certainly a significant development to actually find some DNA not belonging to Nancy inside the home, where we believe, based on the timeline law enforcement given us, was about 41 minutes between 1:47 a.m. and 2:28 a.m. Someone was in that house. Maybe this is a key. And you saw from Charlie's great wall walk there, laying out the pieces of evidence and clues that we have so far to include this DNA. My question to you, because you seem pretty upbeat that we're headed towards a major break. And we just had James Galliano detailing that to get these warrants, you needed a specific direction of what you were trying to get. If indeed that leads to DNA, forensic DNA evidence to add to what was found in the home, is that the big break we're waiting for?
It's going to be massive. In other words, if you can connect something found at Nancy Guthrie's home to this home they just went into, to a single individual, there's your money tree. Those are dots you have now connected conclusively. Nobody's going to deny DNA. We all understand that. So what they're doing, again, you see this precision. You see them walking very slowly through this thing to say, okay, we have a suspect at her front door. We also have Nancy's blood at that front door on the outside. So that means this perpetrator was moving her from the inside to the outside. We have a blood system of evidence that stops at a point. So we know at some point she didn't just quit bleeding because she's on blood thinner. So she's most likely put into a vehicle. If we have any of her DNA in the trunk of that Range Rover, if we have hair, if we have, again, that backpack, they did the right thing by holding up those tarps. And if you watched what they did when they closed the door and the trunk, they put evidence tape on those seals and they dated them and put their signature. that vehicle to them is a crime scene. They did the right thing by loading that up on that flatbed, getting it to another location to process it properly. I'm talking about one hair off somebody's head. So you don't want to try to do anything there at that scene. You want to take it to a, location where you have something that you can take step by step by step, process it properly, bag and tag everything.
So you've got some very sharp observations about that search. Why are they holding up the tarp, trying to conceal it from view from the cameras?
Sure. Well, I mean, let's just say the obvious thing. They either have a container or they have a body. They have something that is their main focus. But y'all, we have children and grandchildren watching this from the Guthrie family. You want to respect not just the family, but you want to maintain the integrity of your scene. This isn't for TV. This isn't for everybody yet. They may not know what they have. If they have a container that may contain more evidence, this is all probative. You want this information. You want these items, but you want to maintain, the decorum of what you're doing while you're systematically protecting that family.
Cheryl, you are an experienced crime scene investigator. We love having people with your experience on, not just because you can identify the facts, but because that experience gives you a gut instinct about what may have happened. I know you don't know definitively anything, none of us do, but based on your experience and based on your gut instinct, what do you think is the motivation here?
Well, I don't think it's money because they failed spectacularly. She wasn't ransomed the first day, the second day, the third day they sent it to TMZ. They give them 2 separate deadlines to get the money. Savannah Guthrie says on Saturday, we will pay. Well, her mama isn't released Sunday, and then Monday comes and goes in the second deadline. That leaves, for me, revenge. So I don't know what their motivation would be. It's in their head of whatever they deemed revengeful. But to me, that's what we're left with.
That is fascinating.
Truly.
Cheryl, thank you so much for that insight.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Y'all.
So yeah, man, this is a very, very interesting case, and I was thinking about that. What could be, just like this lady said? I don't think it's ransom or money, because just the way they handled it. Like I said, I'm big into cases like this. I love watching them and getting into them, and this is just my gut feeling, and this is my opinion. I haven't heard anything, but I think this stuff was new to me about with the lady saying that they might have something with the truck, like with that Range Rover. It might be something in there, which is why they covering with the tarps. It might be close to something, but I do believe this is somebody who's been to her house, like, I want to say like a delivery driver or a worker, landscaper or something like that. Somebody who's done some work at this house. I think that's what we're going to hear. Like I said, it's just my opinion. I think that's what we're going to hear, that this is somebody who's been to her house or in her house in the past for, like I said, whether it be work or to do something. It's somebody who's been there that she knows or that she's met on this. I don't think it has anything to do with her daughter. Some people thought, well, her daughter got money. Maybe I don't think it got anything to do with her daughter. Could, not saying it don't, it could, but I think it's going to be somebody that she knows, and it's going to be somebody who's done some work at her place or something, some type of work there, and I think that's going to be a person that's involved in this case. That's just my opinion. And times I've seen stuff happen like this in these type of cases. Like I said, still don't know the motive, but that revenge angle, I haven't heard that. That's a smart angle. Like, I didn't think of it. Definitely from the way they handling it. Yeah, it could be a revenge angle, but I definitely think it's going to be somebody who's done some work here at this place at her house, whether landscaper, pool guy. I know the other day I was watching it live. The pool guy came by there. There's going to be somebody who's been there, familiar with that house, and it's going to be something like that. But hey, let me know what y'all think. But hopefully, I mean, obviously, the longer you go with these cases, the slimmer the chances get of her being returned alive, especially, like I said, an older lady with some health problems and already was bleeding from day one. That's not good, but we still hope for the best. But definitely, we hope they catch the person and, they pay the full price when they catch them, because that's, this is, I feel sorry for the family and everything, because that's a scary feeling. But let me know what y'all think about that, man.